Russia, and Josh Finney, um, authors, pop commentators, really, that kind of thing. We're going to be talking tonight about the Gamergate issue of the recent call to get the FBI involved, investigating the threats against Sarkeesian, Quinn, et al., to finally get to the bottom of them and show who are the guilty parties here. To clear our name, if you will, but equally to also get someone to actually have a look at the corruption in this journalism and see what its full extent is. Um, Josh, I believe you've been really keen on this idea that sort of pretty much swelled up from the community. Uh, what's the plan? What do you see happening with this?
Well, really what it came down to is a number of people kept bringing up over and over again, well, we've got nothing to hide. Uh,
Hmm.
Go ahead, let's investigate this. Why don't we show we've got nothing to hide? And frankly, we need to get these people out of the way anyways. Anyone who's making terrorist threats under our name needs to be routed out anyway. We don't want them around. They're getting
Yeah,
in the way of the true discussion. They're distracting
absolutely.
from what's
I don't think
actually
any of us want this said in our name.
no, no, nobody does.
Hmm.
It's the antithesis of what Gamergate's about. And, you know, as much as I may disagree with the likes of Quinn or Sarkeesian or that other crazy, um, you know,
They
they,
are.
yeah, they have no, you know, there's no reason for them. As much as I disagree with them, they should not be threatened. You know, that is not what this is about. Criminal and terrorist threats made against them should be taken seriously. It should not be fought out on Twitter and on the front page of Gawker. It should be taken directly to the authorities, and we need to get these people taken, you know,
Yeah.
taken to court, really.
It does beg the question, the way they've swamped Twitter with their damsel in distress pleas.
Oh, I'll
Um,
thoroughly argue that they've been completely irresponsible about these threats. I mean,
mm,
yeah, I know
yeah,
that some people say, well, I think they're faking it. It doesn't really matter. We don't have the luxury of saying that. We have to assume when there are bomb threats and shooting threats being made, we have to assume they're real, and the
mm,
government needs to assume they're real and look into it because if they are real, they need to be taken seriously. This cannot be clickbait that's just spread all over the media for entertainment value.
no, and that is what's happening with it. That's what they are
Right,
using it for,
right.
without
And
any doubt.
let's take it a step further. The
If
media
you
is
guys
more
won't
than
take it
thrilled.
seriously, we will.
Yeah, well, the media has been more than thrilled to do this whole thing with oh, what's her name? The redhead,
Brianna Wu.
Will Wheaton's
Oh no, Lee
girlfriend.
Alexander.
No, Felicia Day.
Felicia
Oh,
Day. Yeah,
Felicia Day. Yeah.
everyone had a field day about Felicia Day's threats.
She,
Uh, Wait a
mm,
minute. Why the hell isn't the FBI looking into this?
yeah, it's
I don't
Felicia
think
Day. God damn it.
I don't think Felicia Day faked them. I think somebody did it.
Yeah.
That needs to be taken seriously. This is not a joke.
Specifically to the Felicia Day allegations, what surprised me was she released her article, and within literally about half a day, someone had doxed her. And that says
Yeah.
two things to me: that perhaps this person had already got her details and just saw that and thought, this would be funny.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, or what it also suggests is that whoever did dox her would have had absolutely no time to check it out with the rest of the Gamergate movement. So whoever does it has done it has to have been a rogue because they wouldn't have had the time to get any sort of consent from the movement and make the movement, the consumer movement, guilty of that. So
Despite
because of the speed, we can discount it as having anything to do with us.
despite what the media has been portraying, as someone who's been following this extremely closely, I can say with experience, I have never seen once in any forum, in any chat, in any discussion, hey, let's all go dox this person today. Hey
No.
guys, what do you think about doxing this person? Or, you know what? I think, why don't we call in bomb threats? Nobody fucking does that.
Yeah, I tell you what, even the shill trolls in some of our groups, the ones that have come there to embarrass us, they will step away from that kind of thing, and I think that speaks volumes.
Yeah, and the shill trolls that do jump in and start trying to pull that stuff get routed out very quickly or get blocked. I've been very
Mm.
very impressed with how well the community has made sure that things like that are not allowed to run amok.
Well,
I
basically, the way I see it as,
mm,
Gamergate specifically has come under so much scrutiny and has been blamed for doxing and making these threats and other things like that. In order for us to show, no, we are a legitimate movement, legitimate mindset of we need to get corruption out of gaming and the media and other things, we need to be better than that. And I do understand there are individual people who engage in that sort of activity, but that's why both sides need to police themselves if real
mm.
solutions are going to happen. And and again, what better than to
Yeah, I think you
educate
raise a
them?
wonderful point there that we have to be better than them because
And we
we
have
really
to.
can't complain about corruption and behave like shitlords whilst doing that, complaining about that corruption. We cannot be worse
And
Like,
if we
than,
can't police ourselves, how the hell can we expect anybody to take us seriously? Like you just said, that when we call other people out.
and speaking of being better than that, one thing that I found very, very interesting in regards to the
yeah,
other side is they're constantly thinking, approaching this as we have our journalists and they have theirs, which is not the case. They keep on mentioning Milo as if he's some leader of the Gamergate movement. No,
yeah,
Milo is sympathetic, but he is a journalist. And let me tell you, I can guarantee everyone out there that if Gamergate went the way of Occupy and just
yeah,
started becoming a diluted joke, he
yeah,
would probably be the first one to start hammering us for it.
yeah. I
And
expect he
so
would. Yeah,
So for the other side to kind of assume, oh, we've got our journalists, you've got yours, bullshit. That's not how this works.
Mm-mm.
they've got their terrorists, and everybody suffers. I think.
Yeah. And the fact that they already
Interestingly,
assume that they have journalists that are just going to send propaganda out says everything that's wrong with the state of things.
Mm-hmm.
it is. I mean, it was very telling when those 10 articles like all came out that were saying gamers are dead. It was
Yeah.
very telling. Such. It was almost hilarious. Like, how did you? Why didn't you just
Well,
all publish the same article and be damned? You
but
fooled no one.
getting back to the point of why I
Mm,
created the site, I mean, to just make it very clear, I'm an author. I've written a number of graphic novels. My wife runs a publishing company. Uh,
magnificent.
Full-time writer. I've done some game work in the past, but primarily I'm a writer. And so in that regard, I don't really have anything really invested in this
No.
other than someone who enjoys the art form and frankly is tired of seeing movements get co-opted. I saw this happen with atheism, which I'm deeply involved with.
Yeah, same here.
And I'm glad that we
Heartbreaking.
won that fight in atheism, but it hurt us. It damaged us extremely badly.
Oh,
We're still recovering.
do you think atheism has survived the social
Yeah,
justice warrior invasion?
yeah, we won. We won that,
Okay.
but we're crippled. It hurt us very badly. We had a lot of momentum. We were making some real change. We
Yeah.
were beginning to be taken seriously in the press, and the social justice warriors came in and painted us as a bunch of
Yeah.
women-hating assholes, and the press jumped on it. And now we're back to where we started, which is we're a clutch of academics and intellectuals who meet up
Yeah.
and have our gatherings and enjoy our company. I mean, we really don't have the effective push that we used to
No. It was
because,
depressing. It was depressing to watch it happen. I mean,
yeah,
a year or so ago, I was finding I was getting booted out of a different atheist group every week. It was bizarre.
yeah,
And it was always the same sort of social justice arguments, and always because I'd just taken a slightly contrary position. Not
yeah.
a full on, oh, put them all in camps or something, just reasonable questions, and people would like, oh, you can't say that, that's terribly misogynistic or racist or bigoted or bloody addy addy.
But I don't know what it's like over in the UK, but here in the States, what it is there's the main atheist camp, which is the old guard, the people who started this, movement,
Hmm.
still gathering and doing their thing, and then there's the free thought blog Nazis with the new,
Yeah.
and
Atheism plus.
they've
Yeah.
just become a complete joke. They've kind of fallen apart into grandstanding and eating their own. They're attacking each other. That's
Yeah.
but
I mean, I
the
was
thing
looking at
is,
their Facebook page the other day, and they post a lot of stuff during the day, but it will get about one or two
yeah.
likes.
they're nobodies. They really are. But the
Yeah.
problem is those nobodies took a movement that had a lot of momentum that was making legitimate, meaningful change within this country at least, and they just
Mm.
completely crippled it. Our political capital has vanished because of those people. And I don't want to see that happen to gaming. I don't want to see gaming win this fight, but come out of this so severely crippled that we're now 5, 10 years set
Mm.
back from where we were.
I
And
think the difference between gaming and atheism is that gaming is an industry,
yeah,
and
it's
also
much
you've got a very professional it's a billion-dollar
yeah,
industry, multi-billion. So there is that level of protection. The money will not let itself get,
right.
fiddled
Whereas
with.
atheism has gone back to being its hardcore devotees of just the scene and talking and just the community. But
Mm.
we're out of the public eye for the most part. It's gone.
Well,
Whatever ability to affect social change has been rolled back to where we were about 5 to 10 years ago.
oh, I think so. I think social changes ended up getting a very bad name by the
Now, there's
activities of
actually
SJWs.
there's a similar historical parallel to what's happened, by the way, and a lot of people haven't seen this, and this is kind of why I brought this up before we went on air. That I grew up in a very left-leaning household,
Hmm.
and I thought it was very important that I mention that I've got the classical liberal views. Again, FDR, everything
Yeah.
before the fuck-ups of the 1960s. You know, Enlightenment values, as I like to
Yeah.
say. There's a parallel in the 60s to this, and that was when, before the 60s really kicked off and became the whole mythology that it is now, it all
Mm.
started with the free speech movement in Berkeley, and that was founded by intellectuals, free thinkers, people who were all going to affect change through knowledge.
Mm. The
And
cultural Marxists.
well, no, not cultural
No?
Marxists. No,
No.
Enlightenment value. People who actually believed in true, equal opportunity, not
Right.
equal results, free
True
speech.
egalitarians. Yeah.
Right.
Ah.
And they were, these were lawyers and, just scholars, essentially, and
Yeah.
would-be scholars at Berkeley. And they were the real deal. And as it started to pick up steam and started to affect actual change in the community,
Yeah.
they got co-opted.
Yeah.
After every rally, to show their patriotism and show that they believed in the Constitution and America, they always sang the national anthem. And you had a lot of people with glasses and
Yeah.
notebooks and what they would call squares of the era. When their
Mm.
movement got co-opted and became more of the long-haired love bead hipsters,
Yeah. Was that the
slowly
first thing? They lost the national anthem, did they?
they changed it to Yellow Submarine and they booted out all the squares.
Mm.
And the next thing you know, it was no longer about actually affecting change. It was about free love and LSD and tune in and drop out,
Yeah.
and it fell apart. And then similarly, the SDS, the Students for Democratic Society,
Mm.
in the late 60s, were becoming a political force to be reckoned with. They were becoming increasingly meaningful and valuable in the political scene. Everyone was predicting this was going to be the new guide and leading vanguard for the left in the United States. And
Yeah.
again, the people at the very top were intellectuals. They were people who believed in the rule of law and in working within the system, and again, enlightenment values.
Nice guys, basically.
Yes, real,
Mm.
people that, and you didn't necessarily have to agree with them, but they were reasonable people. They believed in Socratic debate. They believed
Mm.
in things like math,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And
Mm.
then they had their big convention for the SDS, and I think it was in 1971. I could be wrong. The dates are a little fuzzy on this. But
Yeah.
at there was this huge press turnout. It was getting all this attention. They were certain this was going to affect the next election.
Yeah.
And the weathermen, who became the weather people when they were co-opted the feminists, showed up, radicalized half the SDS, split it in half, and collapsed it, and it never recovered. And the
Yeah.
weathermen then went on to become terrorists who,
Mm.
you know,
And end
did
up in government, some of them, apparently.
Yeah, scumbags. Yeah, and you know what? They got a lot of free passes.
Mm,
But it was the exact same thing. These people were actually affecting legitimate, real change, and again, embracing real Enlightenment values. And SJWs of their era came in, destroyed the movement, radicalized, turned on itself, attacked itself, and rendered it irrelevant. So there's a pattern for this on the left, and
mm.
as I like to call them, I like the radical authoritarian left.
Well, I think
They're
they call this technically Trotsky's French turn, don't they?
yeah,
I think it's been pulled off many, many times before, and has almost become their signature attack.
yeah,
So,
and they're our worst enemy. It disgusts me.
mm,
They, we've seen what the end result of this is. It's Stalin,
yes, yeah, and
and for all
bodies.
the vilification of Hitler, I mean, Stalin makes Hitler look mild.
He does, yeah, and China and the whole bit, and throwing Pol Pot. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
So, so with that long roundabout story, as someone
Mm,
who again views himself as a classic liberal with Enlightenment values, atheism, free debate, I see what's going on right now as massively important. And the
yeah,
moment I saw that gamers, and I'm a gamer myself, when I saw that gamers were staging a viable resistance to this sort of, as you put, social Marxism or just cultural
mm,
brainwashing,
yeah.
um,
Yeah, it has been
I had to
amazing. It is about
succeed.
the first time that they have suddenly run into something that stops them.
Yes. And I think the one thing that's different is unlike any other movement, we're diverse.
Yeah.
We have a multitude of opinions and we don't really care what they are. We all have one thing in common. There's a very, I'm not afraid to say, there's a very libertarian streak through all of gaming, wherever you stand. It doesn't matter what you are, there's a libertarian streak through all of
Yeah,
it.
I think
Uh,
so, and almost a tribal streak in a lot of places.
well, it's a
Almost,
meritocracy. If you can do
yeah,
it, you're welcome. They don't care. If you can do it, it's equal opportunity, not equal result.
true.
Um, you're entitled to your point of view as long as you play the game and you play by everyone. If you're a participant, you're in. That's really all that matters.
It is, yeah. If you're being a credit to the team, everybody likes you. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, um, there's one other thing that the SJWs never counted on. We're already social pariahs. You can't shame us.
Yeah,
We're
that's true.
already. You can't shame us. The
Mm,
threat of, oh, the press hates you. Well, what else is new? Everyone thinks you're dorks. What else is new?
yeah,
They're going to beat you up. What else is new?
yeah. And I think there's also another element there that they perhaps misinterpreted. Um, and the fact is that gamers have a kind of incredible amount of discipline. I mean,
Yes, very much so.
they will just leap into organisation. They'll look for leaders. They expect a chain of command. If there isn't one, they'll set their own little set of rules up and stick to those.
Well,
Um,
I've really loved how this has been a movement governed by a unifying idea, not one leader.
mm,
And we have cells forming on their own, self-organizing cells, which will gather, take an idea or take one aspect of the movement and say, I'm going to make this my own, make it
mm,
happen. I'm open to input. That is ideal. You can't cut that head off.
no,
It's self-organizing.
Well,
yeah,
not only that, but how, uh, to use geek terms, how many standalone complexes have been cropping up where so many different um, gamers, not even talking to each other, not engaging at all, will come up with the same ideas. Like, Josh made the website about how, look, we need to report this.
mm,
And all of a sudden, I'm seeing other people had the same idea. And because, um,
yeah,
we
and
as
a
many
sort of
as it was,
quorum has
Well, yeah,
formed,
the only
hasn't it?
reason I made the site was I kept hearing people talk about it, and I agreed. And it's like, well, why the hell hasn't anyone jumped on this? Screw it, I'll do it.
Yeah,
I'll do it. I'll just, I've got a busy
I'm
work
glad you did.
schedule, but it matters. This is
Mhm.
important. I'll just take a week out and make it happen.
And just how many it's amazing how we're all separate but we're all together on this.
So if this is a
It's yeah,
standalone complex, does that make the internet aristocrat the laughing man?
You know?
One guy spoke up, and suddenly everyone's like, "This
Yeah.
one idea is causing repeats."
Well, I think it was, as I seem to remember, it was Mundane Matt who noticed it first. I think
Yeah, he
his first
noticed it.
podcast was the first, then Internet Aristocrat, then
But it was
Sargon.
really that Internet Aristocrat video that just laid it out so beautifully and inspired everyone.
Hmm.
Oh, true, yeah, yeah. I mean, the Internet Aristocrat has experience in that area, the Tumblrism videos, the Hugbox Chronicles videos.
I would
He
say,
has a lot of experience with
I'd say
SJW.
with Thunderfoot, he is my all-time favorite
True,
commentator.
yeah.
I kind of wish Jim had a Patreon or just hours and hours of free time to make more videos
Oh, God,
because
yes,
they're
yeah.
incredible.
Well,
Uh,
this is one of the things that I'm so pleased about. I mean, it, so many of my favourite podcasters that were doing okay, but not particularly well, have got a great deal of exposure from this, and they deserve it. They've worked damn hard to report the issue, and they've taken a lot of flack to report the issue, and they've turned into real bloody heroes. I'm very
yeah,
proud of more or less everyone in the movement. You guys, especially. I mean, you've been here pretty much since the start. I seem to recall.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Well, getting back to that, if you want to, again, I made the endthethreats.wordpress.com saying that we
yeah,
should all rally together and insist that the FBI look into these threats and take them seriously.
that'll be
Because
linked in the low bar.
one, it needs to happen. Let's face it, we do not have, I know a lot of people think they
Yeah,
faked them. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. We don't have the luxury to assume that. These are real terrorist threats. Real
yeah,
bomb threats have been made. We can't just assume these are fake. No, we've got to take them seriously, and so does our government have to take this seriously.
yeah. Well, I
Um,
think that what you've done in providing those links and reporting forms to them, if
yeah.
enough of us do those, they will kind of have to
Oh
have a
yeah,
look.
I have to.
Hmm.
If enough
Yeah.
people do it, right now I know that something like 150 so people have written in, but we need more.
Mm.
But that's not bad for 2 days.
Yeah,
Um,
that's good.
yeah, and I know that 5 people have at least clicked on the report evidence. So I don't know. I don't
Mm.
talk to the FBI. I don't know what those say, but people are looking into it. Um,
Mm.
but at the end of the day, we have nothing to lose by doing this. On the one end, it's the right thing to do. It does need to happen. And let's say, worst case scenario, let's say that there are people in our movement making the threats. We don't need them. They're fucking things up. Get them out of here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Throw their asses in prison for what they're doing. We don't want
Oh,
them.
absolutely.
And you know what? If it's not us, our names are cleared and some assholes on the internet are removed.
Mm.
Again, it's a win-win.
Hmm.
And if these people are faking it, then we've got a serious crime on our hands. So there's
Yeah.
nothing to lose.
Then it kind of becomes extortion, doesn't it? Really?
It does.
Oh, there's all sorts of horrible things that get chalked up to that,
Yeah.
especially when you start taking into account they're using nonprofit money to do it.
Yeah.
There's all
Yeah.
sorts of laws that have been broken then. But that's all speculation. We don't know that. We can't
It is.
assume that. We've got to take it at face value that these threats are real, and so does the FBI.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, and the only thing that's going to get the FBI to take this seriously is an
It,
outcry. They get so many complaints about internet threats that we've got to say, no, this is different.
yeah. They
You,
don't always get lots of complaints about the same internet threat, though,
yeah,
and
you
that's what
find
will
how
be different.
many internet threats result in two different bomb threats.
Yeah. It's
And
just not on,
these,
is it?
yeah, yeah. So this is a big deal. It needs to be taken seriously. This can affect laws. This can affect university policy. This can affect a lot of different things. This
Mm.
needs to be taken seriously.
Well, the other thing that gets me is, besides running the publishing company, I also counsel victims of identity theft. And
Right.
so
Oh, come on.
this
Pimp the fact that you were one of the foremost experts. Come on.
I've been doing it for the past 10 years. I have personally helped almost 20,000 victims.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Oh, wow.
the thing is this boxing thing that people are doing gets me so mad because I've read like when Adam Baldwin got doxxed, I read
Yeah.
the letter that was sent with his information, and it read like a high school student. I was like,
Hmm.
ha ha, I got you, and it's
Yeah.
like this is not a a game,
Look,
people.
look.
This is serious business. And I don't care who you are. As much as I don't agree with Anita Sarkeesian or
Mm.
even some of Felicia Day's points of view, even though I think she's awesome, um,
You can like
nobody.
someone and not agree with them. Come
Yeah,
on.
exactly. I can, it doesn't matter. I don't care how you feel about somebody's point of view.
Mm.
Doxing is serious business. I'm not going to call it terrorism,
Oh,
but
it is. It's
yeah,
terrorism.
okay. Then I
It's
won't
Yeah.
call it
terrorism.
terrorism. It is terrorism. It is an act of terrorism. You are, exposing somebody in a way that is going to make them a target, and it is.
Yeah.
You're using fear and terror to make people either shut the hell up or do something you want. That's
Yeah,
terrorism.
and
Yeah.
the identity theft is one of those crimes. I believe, what was it? The latest statistics were every 3 minutes, at least in American, is a victim of identity theft. I don't know about in the UK. I know that Canada is realizing that they have a serious problem. Same with Australia.
Mm.
It's become this huge thing because of the internet and how much information is out there. And it is one of those crimes that stays with you forever. It's not like your house gets burglarized and you're scared for a while, but you
Yeah.
get over it. No, this stays with you forever. And the fact that these people are engaging
Yeah.
in this harassment and terrorism and not recognizing it's not a game. This is serious. It just kills me, and I want these people found. I don't care what side of the fence they're on.
Well, we go a step further. If you believe in free speech, if you
Mm.
believe in, again, Enlightenment values, if you claim to be a liberal, you should be absolutely against doxing. You should be absolutely against using terror and threats and bullying to silence anyone. And it sickens me when I see, sites, Salon, Slate,
Mm-hmm.
you see these comment sections
Mm.
laughing about conservatives being doxed and threatened.
Oh, it's
No,
just.
that is sick.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm.
is everything we're supposed to be against. And I'll take this a step further. Another reason I've been so damn involved in this is since the 90s, I have seen this rapid decline of this authoritarian bullying, again, as you
Mm.
call it, social Marxist attitude that has just
Yeah.
baited the left and
Yeah.
twisted it into this ugly, ugly monster that,
Oh,
honestly,
that.
I cannot recognize, this is not liberalism I can recognize.
Not
This
When
is.
I see books getting banned under the name of political correctness, when I see
Yeah.
words being censored, when I see people losing their jobs because of creative disagreements because of politics,
These are the witch hunts of
yeah,
Chairman Mao's Cultural Revolution, aren't they?
well,
These are the
fucking Joe
criticism
McCarthy
sessions.
or Joe McCarthy.
well, that
Well,
and then
yeah.
these people trot out Fahrenheit
Oh yeah,
451.
yeah, and then they trot out
Yeah.
Fahrenheit 451 in 1984. So, see, we've got to fight the conservatives. You know what? The conservatives aren't doing this.
Like, have you actually read these books?
When was the last time we saw a conservative ban a
Yeah.
fucking book?
Yeah, and I mean,
Yeah.
1984 is about the left, not the conservatives,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really.
know. I'm well
I
aware
mean,
of that, and it frightens me to see how many of those tactics being used. And one thing I get a lot of shit for, and again, why I'm so involved in this, is I've been fighting this for years, saying we're letting the nuts take over. We are letting the nuts co-opt and run things. And the thing
yeah,
that sickens me is there's this mentality, and I don't know if it's like this on the right, maybe it is, I don't know, where you're not allowed to criticize your side. It's like, excuse me, if I'm going to vote for these assholes, I'm going to fucking police them and make sure they do their goddamn job. It's not okay for Obama to pass the same Patriot Act that Bush did. Oh, well, it's our guy doing it. It's okay. No, it isn't. It's not okay for Obama to sell us out
yeah.
to Comcast because he's got a D next to his name.
I tell you what, it's sad really because I can go and explain liberal ideas in a conservative group and they will tolerate it. But
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't explain liberal ideas in an SJW group because they would
Oh,
just
no.
throw me straight out. If I said,
Groupthink.
"Well, we need equality for men and women,"
Yeah.
bang, bye.
Yeah, to even suggest that feminism is broken
Yeah.
Yeah,
is just a critical, and you know what? Look, you're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to that opinion. And you can't just say, oh, well, you hate women, shut up.
yeah,
You should be able to defend your point. If I say something like, Well, I think the rape stats are really broken. We need to reassess how that's handled. You can't just say, "Oh, you hate women." No, you've got to back out why I'm wrong.
Yeah, you've got to justify those. Was it the Cos report or something?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Cost is a prime example of everything that's wrong.
They all peer review each other. They all write any old thing that fits the narrative, and
And the fact of the matter is, everyone's screaming and yelling, "Oh, Christina Hoff Sommers, she works for the American Enterprise Institute." You know what? I don't care. She's right.
yeah, well, yeah. I
I
mean, they're
don't
always saying,
want.
"Oh, the Southern Poverty Law Center has called you a hate group." They are a hate
Yeah,
group.
and you know what? The Southern Poverty Law Center has so uh, destroyed its once stellar image. It has
Yeah,
become a joke.
well, they
Its
must have been
comment,
co-opted.
yeah, it's been completely co-opted. They've had to retract so many of these claims now. If you're a capable organization, you don't constantly need to retract statements,
No, you
cover your
shouldn't.
ass in court.
Not a legal organisation either.
No, no,
You
yeah, exactly.
should know before you open your mouth.
So yeah, it disgusts me. As I've been putting it, I feel that I'm I don't know, I can't even say liberal anymore because I don't recognize liberals. I call myself
Hmm.
a Ronin. I don't have any.
Yeah, I
I
tend to
can't.
go with egalitarian these
Yeah, yeah.
days.
Well, I'm
You
a
know.
humanist. I mean, that's not hard. I'm an egalitarian, but as a political party or movement, fuck them.
Yeah.
You
Well,
can't think.
so many
It's
of us no longer know what our politics really are anymore. It's all come back down to our basic principles, which I think is no bad thing.
oh, I think it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Although it seems to scare the hell out of baby boomers for some reson. They just can't grasp not being in a party.
Well, they
Yeah,
can't grasp not being able to put a label on things.
And
true.
I'm really sick of having conversations with Democrats where I say, well, I'm really sick of Obama's handling of this.
Hmm.
Something we need to speak up. And having someone say, oh yeah, well, Republicans do this. I
Yeah,
don't care. They're
yeah.
not present.
It's the old tu quoque fallacy, isn't it? And it's
Yeah,
like, there's no point saying, oh, well, you did this like 30 years ago. Well, 30 years ago is not now. This
Hmm.
sort of thing. It doesn't matter. That's blur.
yeah. But yeah, so in that regard, I find what gamers are doing not only inspiring, but absolutely vital.
Mm.
Absolutely vital. This is a lot bigger than I think anyone really recognizes. Um,
Mm.
and if this can successfully happen, and I think already it's been successful, it's just how successful will it be? I mean, it looks like we're going to bring down Gawker, which in
Yeah.
itself is
I don't want to sound too joyful there, but yeah.
we might we might bring down Gawker, but we've hurt them, and that should be impossible. We should not have been able to do that.
Mm-mm.
And
No.
just an example of that, it's kind of a game changer. It's changing the dynamics of how things happen. In a lot of ways, I see Gamergate as the model for politics in the coming millennia, which is that we're going to see people organizing around ideas. They're going to be headless movements,
Mm.
organized organically, what emergent thought,
Hmm.
and that will be tackling individual ideas rather than lockstep political parties and dogmas, which I've come to thoroughly despise.
Mm. Yeah, unified theories about politics are like unified theories of everything. Essentially, they are bound to be wrong.
Religions.
Religions and that, yeah, that whole bit, that nobody has all the easy answers. Generally, all we can do is chip away at today's problems and hope generally it gets better overall. But you're never going to fix the human nature, as it
Yeah.
were.
And
Can
so
only
I
be.
think that in a way we're kind of seeing the precursor to what the coming era may look like. And I know that it's terrifying the shit out of our politicians. They don't talk about it much, but
No,
SOPA, when SOPA was brought down, it was a similar thing. That was not a one leader movement. That was organic. That was headless. That was multiple people working under the same idea,
you know,
organizing organically through the web. Now we're seeing it here on a much larger scale, actually.
yeah. I mean, I suppose Total Biscuit was quite involved in that one as well. So
The
could be
SOPA,
argued he is our leader.
Nah.
Not, but
But yeah, and it's global too. Uh,
yeah.
so in that sense, I felt it was vital to get involved, but also on a more personal level as a as an author of sci-fi and graphic novels.
Mm,
This social justice warrior, feminist co-opting of the geek community is far more widespread than I think most people realize, and
yeah.
it is a cancer.
Mm,
It is an Orwellian disease that must be stamped out. Um,
cool.
they have not, people have no idea how bad and how deep it's gotten, and I think a lot of it has to do with two things. And I don't know, you've probably seen this argument before, and I've seen it
Mm,
happen firsthand, where you'll get a group of people that are open-minded, open to new ideas, open to change. We let them in, and the next thing you know, they've changed everything. We've
yeah.
invited them into our house, and the next thing you know, they feel that the house needs to be burnt down for their convenience.
Yes.
Um,
And not even their convenience, for some mystical third party's convenience
yeah,
that we have
for them
somehow
to be,
affronted.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
They will never say it's for their benefit, and it
Right.
always is. You know, the
And
Patreon money is never for their benefit; it's for the
yeah,
cause, but they just keep it.
exactly. Comics has been gutted by this badly. That's something I think Kat can especially speak to as a publisher.
Oh,
Sci-fi is the worst of the bunch. Sci-fi really depresses me.
yeah,
Sci-fi has nurtured this cancer to the point that what's considered sci-fi and the Sci-Fi Writers Association is unrecognizable.
really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's essentially what would you say, feminist fanfic?
Hmm.
Really?
Yeah,
Well, these are the people who want to literally take the head, the statue of H.P. Lovecraft, melt it down, and replace it with who are they replacing it with?
Butler.
Because Lovecraft was
Yeah.
a
Right.
was
Yeah, they want to replace it with a black feminist author who frankly, I'm sure she's a good writer. I'm sure she does work, but I'll
She's
be
not
honest.
H.P. Lovecraft, is she?
Well, I would say honestly, the only reason her books get sold is that they're assigned in women's studies classes across the country.
Yeah.
That's her primary market.
I've never heard
She
of her,
has
and I've been reading science fiction since the 80s.
the only reason I know about Octavia Butler is every women's studies class major I came across, every girl was reading it.
Yeah.
It was assigned reading.
And is it science fiction as we would understand it, or is it more like, say, The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, which classifies as science fiction, I suppose, but it's more utopian fiction?
I couldn't even.
Right. So
I've
it's
had
it's
plots
these are
described to me in
feminist
a.
books, are they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not only that though. It's really lukewarm feminism, poorly thought out sci-fi. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
like The Handmaid's Tale, which is an actual story.
Yeah. I bet
um,
you just don't see like because one of the favorite things I used to love about science fiction that it would often suddenly you'd flip a page and there was half a page of equations there as they explained what a spaceship is doing, folding its way through
right.
space and that. And
And
I bet there's none of that.
well, there is, but the thing is, the people writing that stuff are being railroaded out. The Science Fiction Writers Association, which is supposed to be essentially the guild for sci-fi writers, you
Yeah.
know, has become a political body under the leadership of John Scalzi.
Yeah.
Um, you know who he is?
No, but like here under the
He wrote Red
political leaders,
Sonja.
here we go again. Yeah.
He
And he's
wrote
no
Red.
Sarkeesian, is he?
Uh, well, personally, my opinion is he found a pitch that works.
Yeah.
He he could use the Sarkeesian methods to promote himself, make him look good by tearing others down,
Hmm.
and a lot of people bid it. Bit the hook, and it's become a political organization. Um, their awards are now given politically; they're not given for what's good.
Yeah.
And worst of all, I mean, that in itself, what's new? I mean, that's the Oscars all over again, right?
I
Who's going to
suppose so, but
well, no, the Oscars are political too. It's crap. But And I know that because my sister's an actress. But anyway,
Mm,
uh, sorry, there's an ice cream truck going by. Hold on.
that's cool. I wondered what that was. I thought Kat had got some panpipes out or something. I
No.
thought, hey, nice touch. We could use some music. Yeah.
What's more despicable is it's not only become politically motivated, it's not only become, their awards are political, what books are recognized are political. That
Mm,
in itself isn't shocking. What's shocking is they're purging the organization and kicking writers out who they feel politics or ethnicities don't fit or religions don't fit.
eh,
And again, I'm an atheist, and
yeah.
I think, Christians have every right to have write their sci-fi Christian books with their what
Yeah.
colon, Christian colonialist sci-fi stories. They have every right to be in the guild as anyone else.
Mm,
Republicans and libertarians have every right to be in the guild. I mean, Heinlein should not be purged from the canon because people don't like his politics.
it's awful. I mean,
Yeah,
it's cultural appropriation, really, isn't it?
right.
You know, like
It is
think
cultural
who
appropriation.
writes sci-fi. It's white guys and Jewish guys, really, isn't
Yeah,
it? And
and white guys become a dirty word.
yeah, and so they will appropriate the subject rather than the culture, I suppose. That they're having sci-fi, but it isn't going to be sci-fi as you know it. They're having
Well,
gaming, but it won't be gaming as we understand it. That kind of thing. It'll
I
be
would compare it, and I know this is probably going to upset a lot of your listeners,
good.
but you know how Doctor Who, the classic Doctor Who, was
Yeah,
science fiction. That was a show for people who liked to think about things. Those were people who, for people who liked to follow a long, involved plot. There were
yeah,
challenging ideas in the original Doctor Who.
yeah.
It was, there was a reason Harlan Ellison said it was by far the best science fiction program ever to be created. What they've essentially done is the same thing that's happened to Doctor Who. They've grabbed sci-fi and they've turned it into a sci-fi light, sci-fantasy romance.
Mm, yeah.
And I cannot watch Doctor Who. I've heard the new one's good with the new Doctor, but
Yeah, well,
after once they got Tennant on board, it just declines. It just turned into essentially Doctor Who, the soap opera.
it
The
is.
ideas
They're
were
all
all fantastical. They weren't science fiction.
yeah,
Um, all the statements were really you,
yeah.
the
Neil Tennant
political
I
statement.
liked, and after that I just kind of was
But you
drifting
know
away
what?
from it again.
But in all fairness, Gaiman plays the game though. Gaiman may actually write real sci-fi, but he pays lip service to that shit.
Yeah, yeah. He's a bit.
He's a goddamn Scientologist secretly.
Is he? Yeah,
Yeah.
probably is. I know he's. I know a lot of the old 2000 AD stuff are quite sort of left wing, and I think it's happened after the sort of golden age of 2000 AD. I think they've sort of come to it in their later life, when they started doing graphic novels and that kind of thing.
Well, no, what it is in each case is everyone looks around and says, well, we need to be more inclusive. What do we do to bring women in?
Mm,
And then they go and they ask, well,
feminists.
feminist academics,
Yeah.
how do we bring women in? Not realizing, hey, you've already got women in the movement. Why don't you ask them?
Yes.
You've already got women who are gamers. Why
Yeah.
don't you ask them? We've already got women writing sci-fi. Why don't you ask them? But no, they go to
Mm,
the academics, and bam, what do we got? Social engineering.
yeah. Well, you need to batter men out of the game. That's how you get more women in. Mm.
Yeah,
Ugh.
right now, sci-fi is being written 45% by women, but yet they still claim to be a minority.
That
Need
is quite
special
amazing.
need
Oh,
special anthologies for women,
that
and
surprises me because it's almost like the gaming thing. I am genuinely surprised that women get into it to the same degree that men do, because I
yeah.
can't see what the reward is.
Well, no, no, no. See, so I think you're approaching it wrong. No, the women were already fucking there. We had academics then come in later with their feminist views and say, we're not being represented. You're right. Feminists are underrepresented.
Ah,
Radfems are underrepresented. That's what they want. Gaming
Yeah.
has lots of women. They just weren't radical feminist Nazis.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
look at
Now
what
that
is
would
it?
actually make a good science fiction book, but they would be the villains and they wouldn't be happy. But that
Uh,
would be great, a
uh, you know,
colony on the moon of radical feminist Nazis.
actually, well, what's kind of interesting
Yeah.
is going to school in San Francisco at Cisco State University. The writing department was heavily feminist, and I
Mm.
was exposed to so much feminist sci-fi, and it was every bad joke you could imagine. Every fucking bad joke.
What,
You know,
bad
all
jokes?
the you know, then the joke is you would imagine, well, feminist sci-fi must be about a world where, all men have been killed off or they're living as barbarians out in the wasteland, or the women have this glass eco-utopia,
Yeah.
men have rape gangs. Yep, that's it. That's every other fucking book.
Ugh.
I mean, it's not even you can't parody it.
No, it's just dystopian feminist fiction.
Yeah, yeah. Rachel Pollack was one that her work was just incredibly like, who reads this shit?
Yeah. Oh my.
But
No, I probably will get my head torn off in the week by feminist science fiction writers, but
Just
no,
send them to me.
well,
I'll
no.
keep an
What'll
eye
okay.
out.
happen is if you draw the attention of John Scalzi, he might stick his horde on you,
Oh, good, good.
or Will Wheaton might stick his horde on you, which again is a part of the problem.
Oh, I was
Writers,
chatting with Will Wheaton the other day. Well, I wasn't chatting with him at all. He had posted something that was very anti-Gamergate, so I told him that I felt he let me down as one of my heroes and that kind of thing.
he's an actor. He's good at acting in certain ways, and he's
But he
found a
was
role
Wesley.
for it.
He was Wesley.
Yeah,
Shut
Wesley
up,
was
Crusher.
Wesley.
No, I just can't. I can't look at him without thinking of the story of him in the tree.
Yeah, okay. Shortly after, I'll have to reveal, I'm old. I'm old.
So am
I'm a
I. So am I.
millennial. I'm a Gen Xer, and I'm a little bit younger than Wesley, I think. Uh, but anyway, right after Star Trek: The Next Generation had kind of come out and was a hit,
Hmm.
Will Wheaton was at the Glen Helen Renaissance Fair.
Okay.
He was a participant with the Renaissance Fair players, and I knew a lot of those people, and I was there.
Yeah.
And he was just the most obnoxious little shit.
Really.
Um, yeah, the real attraction to being a player, one of the performers at the Rens Fair, is that it was essentially a free sex, free love environment. There
Really.
were lots of very, very amorous people there who
Wow.
liked sex and liked living a very bohemian.
Free.
Renaissance lifestyle.
Yes, and
How
so
debauched.
yeah, it was, and there was a real attraction to it. It was very easy to find attractive, geeky women
Wow.
who
Of
tended to
course
have nice, beautiful Celt figures who wanted to have sex. There was a lot of attraction to this
How could you
community.
not?
Um,
Huh?
anyway,
Hmm.
Wheaton was there as a
Yes.
performer that one summer, and he was the most obnoxious shit, and nobody would have anything to do with him. And
Oh
he
no.
got utterly shit-faced drunk, and he was so frustrated that none of the chicks would bang him that at one point he stumbled off and he's like, "Oh, fine, fine, I'll just fuck this tree. This tree loves me." And he started dry humping the tree. He
He was
pulled his
shagging a
pants
tree.
down. He pulled his pants down, from what I understand, and started humming the tree.
Oh my god, magnificent.
And there were
Wow.
quite a few people who saw this. So, if you look around the internet, you'll find other people telling a similar story. This was very visible. There were a lot of witnesses, and
Oh my god. Oh, magnificent. Oh, Sargon, you should have been here, my friend. You have missed a treat.
but
Oh,
Oh.
but anyway,
what a bombshell.
yeah.
Thanks,
Well,
Josh. That's fantastic.
so my feeling is like a lot of actors who get political. He's playing a role. He found something that worked for him. I mean, he's all this. He's very much against sexist gaming, but yet
Yeah.
uh, back in the what 5, 6 years. What? No, I guess it'd be God. I'm old. 10 years now. Jesus, I want to shoot myself.
Oh, it's all good. I'm 45.
Okay. He did voice acting for Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. He was one of the characters, and he made multiple statements about how much he loved the series, and he thought Dan
Yeah,
Housen was a genius and a great writer, and he loved what they were doing.
yeah.
So he's a fucking hypocrite.
Well, this
I
is
would
it.
like to
It hardly
recognize his.
fits with his "don't be a jerk" rule, does it? It
Yeah.
hardly fits Wheaton's law.
Well, his whole routine, I believe, he kind of learned it from Scalzi because it worked for him.
Right.
That's just my theory. You can't quote me on this. This isn't legal.
No.
This is my theory. This is my opinion.
Yeah.
I will say now, I could be completely wrong. Maybe it was all his idea, and he really does feel this way. It's not an act. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't like it.
All we have to go on are his actions.
But taking it back to
Mm.
Gamergate and the
Yes.
social justice invasion, another reason I got deeply involved is my wife and I, Kat,
Mm.
have been involved in comics for a number of years now. And we saw the beginning hints of this in about, what, 2007?
Yeah.
Right.
And it wasn't that bad back then. We was like, again, like gaming, it was kind of a live and let live environment. We welcomed them in the house and said, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't agree with you. Hey, welcome to the club, have fun. And the next thing you know, everything had to change for their
Yeah.
comfort. It was kind of like having a football game, and they insist they be in the game, and then insist everyone has to stop tackling, and we should
Yeah.
stop score after that because it makes them uncomfortable, and the level of abuse that my wife endured as a female from these women,
Really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and it just kept getting worse and worse. And the less these women got their ways, the more they started the rape hysteria and the
Yeah.
oh, I'm being hated and this and that. It was
Uh,
suddenly, and it was what this ultimately did is it hurt comics. It's still hurting comics. We had that stupid Spider-Man's ass or Spider-Woman's ass controversy.
oh yes, that was ridiculous.
If
And then
you're
there was a comic
constantly
shop
telling,
in Salem or something that had, so it was suggested they had a rape room, and it was actually a sculpture room.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
And the
yeah.
exactly.
thing is those stories, nobody does any fact checking. They immediately, Mary Sue completely runs with that. I mean,
Yeah.
there was an article that was ran that said, "It happened to me. I'm in a comics community that rapes and harasses women constantly, and no one cares." That's completely substantial. That is so. There's no way to prove that. That is so untrue.
Well, not only that, but the article itself had nothing to do
No, it
with
was
rape.
pretty much her talking about her bad experiences with the boyfriends that she dated.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
had nothing
Who
to
are?
do with, the thing is, you run a headline like that, nobody questions it. This is constantly a cry for attention. It's created an incredibly toxic environment. It's
Oh.
and the thing is we already had women involved who loved the art, who loved the medium, who were writing, and they were treated like shit
Hmm.
by
It's
these
true.
SJWs.
It's
But
true. They never add anything to any
no,
conversation
they want
ever.
everything censored. It's like, well, wait, you. By the way, I don't read superheroes. Like I said, I write sci-fi primarily and horror.
Hmm.
But it's like these women say, I love these characters, but their boobs offend me. Well, wait a minute. Why would you be reading Power Girl if you hate her?
Yeah. Yeah. I knew exactly who you
Power
meant.
Girl for you if you find that stuff offensive. Don't tell me you always loved the character, but those boobs.
Yeah. And I
Um,
mean, I always thought the kind of thing with Power Girl was that her breasts were sort of comically large, that it was kind of ironic that they were a bit of a hindrance to her. And but
well,
maybe I'm
I
wrong.
didn't see them as a hindrance.
for a
Well,
long
no, but
time,
like,
I don't.
maybe.
There was a bit of humor to it, yeah.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
totally was.
But so it just kept escalating. This continual cry for attention. It started a little small, just like it did in atheism, and
Mm,
now we're to the point where every other con is a rape event.
Hmm.
yeah.
Every book is an attack on women. Everything needs to be censored, banned, or changed. Um,
Well, gee,
Men need to be fired.
like what happened at Comic-Con this year.
Yeah, why don't you start talking about this? Because the
Yeah.
thing is, both of us, you have been experiencing the most abuse from SJWs in comics.
Oh, geez, like from the very first day I started in comics, I've had women come up to me and tell me that I'm never gonna make it in the industry, that unless I join their group, that I needed to side with them, that I should stop publishing science fiction, horror, and I should start, doing slice of
Benefit.
life stuff, because
With feminist messages.
yes, with feminist
Yeah.
messages. People have been absolutely horrified by my thoughts on Strangers in Paradise, which is its own essay. I won't go into it right now.
Uh,
Don't like your erotic art.
Oh my God, I do robotic erotic art,
mhm.
and I had some pieces uh, for sale at a convention, and somebody came up and was like, "Oh, this is horrible! I can't believe he would draw that." And
Oh,
you know,
if you let him draw that,
yeah,
Ah,
people who knew that, who thought that it was Josh's artwork, and they would say, "Yeah,
yeah.
how did you let him draw that?" First off, I don't let my husband do anything. My husband is an adult. If I
Mm,
wanted kids, I would have them. I'm not going to marry a child, and
mm,
that's another subject too. But no, so I would tell them, no, that's my artwork there, and uh, they don't know how to react to the fact that I do
mm.
pretty racy, hardcore robot porn. And
Instant cognitive dissonance for
yeah,
them. Yeah.
exactly.
their eyes dilate and it's like whiz-bang
Uh,
gap in their brain.
yeah.
And people think, they hear that I have a publishing company, and if they are SJWs, just because I'm female, they instantly have an idea of what they think I do. And it's like,
Mm,
no, I just put out a Lovecraftian anthology. It just came out last week. Where you've got redneck snake handlers and meth head clowns
mm.
and all sorts of fun, interesting characters.
Real characters. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, this is what you publish? It's like, yeah, isn't it great?
And there's this whole thing. Well, you need to have so many black writers in your book. You need so many women in your anthology. You
I'm
need
like,
so
no, I
many
don't.
gays in your.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll be upfront. I honestly don't know the colors or orientations of most of the people
No.
in this book.
Mm,
Their names on a page.
Actually, that's the wonderful thing about the internet is, I get these submissions. I don't look at names. I don't look at anything. I, where we're doing an open call right now for volume 2, I don't look
mm.
at anything about the person who's writing it. I just read the story. And if it's good, you're in. And,
Yeah,
uh,
one of my favorite writers right now, AC Wise. I had no
yeah,
idea she was a woman.
no.
She's just good.
Like,
Mm.
you got talent. That's all that really matters. I don't care, and they
Yeah,
can't wrap their heads around the idea of I don't care.
they don't understand the difference between equal opportunity and equal result.
Yeah,
Mm.
There are no 5'2" Japanese people in the NFL for a reason. you
Yeah,
know,
absolutely. Some things do have to be a meritocracy if you
hmm
want the good stuff.
yeah.
If you want quality, you have to let the cream rise,
Well,
without altering it.
a publishing company does not exist to fill a social agenda. You know,
No,
artwork
that's
does
what
not
people are for.
exist to make you feel comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, books should challenge you, really.
they
Exactly.
should.
Well, see, that's one of the things that's really bothering me, especially in sci-fi. They keep repeating over and over again, we're trying to make it a safe space for everyone. If
No,
you're
screw
reading
that.
if you're
Mm,
reading fiction to find a safe space, you're doing it wrong.
hmm
If you're looking
Well,
for a safe space in
yeah,
your books, you're doing it wrong.
hmm
one of
exactly.
my. Sorry, carry on.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, let's use a great universal example. I think what a lot of people, what shocks me, a lot of people miss about the wonderful thing about the Harry Potter series, no matter
Mm,
your opinion of it, it is not a quote unquote safe book
Well,
series.
feminists hate it.
Yeah, it has
mm,
serious issues and it brings up serious problems and it makes people think.
yeah.
And, um, you know,
I mean, you've got that whole plot line of the politics of their world, their magical world. You've got like all the
That's that
what
Miss
they.
Thatcher character.
mhm.
Yeah, yeah, and that is fascinating. That's clever. It's what people like, want.
Yeah.
Exactly. And, the fact that your characters do face real, problems and have real adversity, and the fact that Rowling is, yes, I'm going to say it, is like Martin in that she kills off characters you would never
Yes,
expect to get the chopping block.
yes.
And that's what made it so compelling. And they want to take all of that away and make this quote safe. It's like, no, I don't want fucking safe.
Another example that really woke me up to how fucked up sci-fi had gotten, for instance. I knew that it was bad,
Yeah.
is, oh, it's going on 2 years now. I had made a comment in passing in an article, that I was planning on doing a story with a black lead character.
Yeah.
It was just the story that came to mind. The story was nothing more than 20 pages of rough and an outline. Okay?
Mm.
Had not been written, had not been published. It was an idea in forming. The
Yeah.
mere mention of it got me gang stalked and harassed by activists and academics and reviewers and social justice sci-fi. It was just, I
Wow.
was harassed on Twitter for about 3 weeks straight. I had people from NYU, professors, getting all their friends. They hadn't even fucking read what
Saying
I
you
had
are a
written.
white man, you cannot be writing this. Is that the
Yeah,
kind of
that
thing?
somehow I was just doing this horrible thing and accusing me of all this shit I hadn't done. And the
Mm.
thing is, I don't even like mentioning this because I think it's fucking bullshit. I'm only half white. Should that even fucking matter? Does that
No.
mean my opinion is now more valid? No.
It-
No, absolutely not.
yeah. Often I think, white people aren't all that white. I mean, they're an agglomeration of
Well,
European types that have been interbreeding for centuries. It used to be tribes that were sort of white, but there'd be red-haired ones over here, dark-haired, wiry ones over here, tall blonde Nordic ones over here, and that's all mingled over the medieval period. So we are still a sort of real thing, but we're an agglomeration of a lot of races, I
well,
think.
I think
Yeah.
that it really ignores the fact that there's race and culture,
Mm,
and they have very little to do with each other in a lot of cases. And here in the U.S., it's such a mix. It's kind of, especially on the coasts,
yeah.
the term white people is ridiculous. It does not make any sense.
No.
The
No.
mix here is so insane, especially in California.
Hmm.
To even make that claim makes no goddamn sense.
Wow.
Um,
My hometown in England, which is a small leafy Surrey town, um, we're one of the most multicultural places I've ever lived. I mean, we have a big Nepalese community because there's a lot of army bases here, and the Gurkhas live nearby.
oh,
We
okay.
have a large Muslim community. We have a very stable, settled Sikh community. Um,
Wow.
it's amazing, yeah, all these different races, and it really is a tiny town of maybe 100,000 people all told. Maybe that's a bit
More
much,
than?
but right, we're about 30 miles out of London,
Oh,
and
okay. So yeah. Oh,
yeah,
yeah. Absolutely. I can see why it's a mix then.
yeah. But well,
I
yeah,
visited the UK about, oh God, 10 years ago.
oh,
Keep thinking.
brilliant.
More than, because,
I spent a month there. I went to Manchester, London, and then I went to Cumbria.
Oh yes, oh lovely. Oh, so you've seen some of where England looks nice. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, ironically, we keep trying to figure out how we can go there more because our books do exceptionally well in the UK.
right.
You guys are our strongest audience, so.
Oh, magnificent. Oh, no problem. Hey, we'll keep that
Um,
up.
yeah.
but anyway, yeah, it's out of control. We've got to do something about it.
Mm.
We've got to stop this labeling of people. This idea that everyone has to be segregated into little groups and that we can't. That you need some sort of lesson in. Oh, what is it?
In humanity, that's almost what they're trying to teach, isn't it?
Yeah, that you don't have identities, you have ethnicities and cultures.
Yeah. You don't have a sex, you have a gender.
Not only
Yeah,
that, but all of your accomplishments are attributed to the group.
yeah.
You get no attribute to it. You can't own your own accomplishments. It's like screw that.
Yeah.
Um,
The value they place on the individual is negligible, isn't it?
Hmm.
well, actually, I would go as far as to say their type of thinking the individual is a major threat. That
Yeah.
the moment you get a bunch of mediocre people together trying to tell everyone what to do, the last thing they want is one exceptional person to show that they're full of shit.
Yeah.
That's what it is. When it comes down to it, that was one of the reasons communism utterly failed. Was
Yeah.
we all had to be equal in our mediocrity.
Yeah. And like it had space for one big man, and everyone else had to be crap.
Yeah,
Mm.
and so, but taking this back to gaming again,
Yeah,
I
and because we
really
should
don't.
wind it up within the next 10 minutes or
It's
so.
been great talking to you. I
Well, and
wish
you.
uh, it's kind of nice to actually do an interview for once that isn't about one of the books I've done.
Mm. Yeah.
No, seriously, it's like every other week. It's I do an interview. It's usually the same questions, and to
Yeah.
be able to talk about this sort of stuff instead, which is really what's got me fired up right now.
Well, I
It's
really
probably
did want to rehumanize you guys. I think that's what I'll be doing with my podcast. I want to talk to everyone and rehumanize them because we're all getting demonized by the
oh
enemy and
yeah.
that kind of thing. And people need to see that we are diverse, varied individuals with real passions and interests and that kind of thing. We are not fake sock puppet people. We do care, and we are very serious about Gamergate. And I think that
Oh,
needs to be put across.
Exactly, and you've got people who are professionals. They're doctors, they're lawyers, they're mothers, they're
Yeah,
teachers. You've got people all across the entire, mothers, fathers,
spectrum.
yeah,
yeah,
everybody is a gamer.
yeah.
And they don't sit their entire lives on the computer trolling.
No,
They have other lives, but they've all united under this banner.
Well,
mm,
every time a celebrity, gets a death threat in the mail or a bloody knife, they don't say, all movie viewers are.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I mean, and I don't think it actually is happening. Certainly our lot, the stuff that's happened to us has happened. I mean, I don't think Milo is making up it for 1 minute that somebody
No.
sent him a syringe. But
no.
I really know that we're not sending threats. If we were doing it, I would know because I'm hopping around groups all day long, and if someone were doing it, I'd see them sooner or later, and it's just not happening. Just not happening.
Yeah, it's not happening. And there's a very real possibility that there's a handful of twerps out there that just
Mm.
think it's funny. We do know for a fact that some of them were journalists that were trying to generate more clickbait.
Ah, yeah, that
That
Brazilian
Brazilian
guy.
guy.
Shocking, and
And
they won't acknowledge it. They won't acknowledge it. We say, look, we found the guy. Do something.
well, see, that again is bringing me back to why we need an FBI investigation.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
We need the FBI to look into it. If just to prove our name is clear our names. And again, maybe there really is someone who wants to kill Sarkeesian. If there is, we absolutely need the FBI looking into this, right?
Yeah, and mental
You
health
would think,
people, because why should he
well,
care?
yeah,
If
exactly.
you're it.
Yeah, why is she just putting this all over Twitter? Why isn't she working direct? Thunderfoot went through this, and he
Yeah.
didn't even talk about it till what, a year or two later?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he waited till basically he got the okay from the FBI because did the right thing and went to the authorities with it.
Mm.
That's the other thing is you get the people who dox and they think it's funny. They don't understand the gravity. But then you get these people who do in fact make up, oh, I've been doxxed, somebody attacked me, other things like that, and there's no evidence to support it. And to me,
Mm.
crying wolf like that is just as bad as the person who would actually commit
No,
such
no,
a
it's
crime. Yeah,
worse. It's worse.
it's worse
Yeah.
because it it again it harms the industry, it harms everybody else, and again it makes a bigger deal out of something or minimizes a larger issue.
Well, it's akin to what they've done to the words racist, misogynist, and
Yeah,
sexist. These words don't really mean anything anymore. Rape,
No.
everything's fucking rape. Apparently,
yeah.
farts are now rape.
Yeah.
Staring's rape. How can you have a
Staring's rape.
how can you have a reaction? I'm envisioning the near future when the woman runs into the police department and screams, "Oh my God, I've been raped! I've been raped!" Did he look at you, ma'am?
Yes. Yeah.
Where did he look at you?
Where did he look at you? Yes. How loud was his fart?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's
No.
like
Yes.
after a while, no one's going to take it seriously.
No.
That
And
that is that is incredibly troubling.
that will be exploited by evil people.
Yes,
Will.
absolutely. I mean, actually, it's a completely different issue, and I don't want to go on another tangent. I'd love to come on again if
Mm.
you.
Or anytime. Anytime.
Um,
I really want to do that Sargon and you thing again, and
I'd love to,
maybe
I'd love
even
to talk
cover
about
the.
it. But I was going to say the rape hysteria, for instance,
Mm.
gotten so out of control that
Yeah.
again, nobody's taking it seriously.
Yeah. Somebody might be able to get away with it
Well, it's
and say,
normalizing
"Oh,
to the
look, she's a
point,
feminist. She's just making this up," and the police will go, "Oh, yeah, we understand. We've got
or
places we
worse,
can
they're
too."
creating the environment where the thought, well, you can't blame him. I mean, clearly every guy is prone to it. You can't really, you
Yeah.
know,
See,
that's the
well,
image they're creating.
we men are beasts. We can't help ourselves. Yeah,
You
it's a dangerous thing.
you know, people who are severely mentally ill cannot be held accountable for certain crimes. If
Hmm.
you said that every man, if they can somehow convince the law or put it down in law that every man is prone to rape, there's a legal argument there. Well, you can't really hold it against him. I mean, then
Yeah.
you're on the path to Islam.
Yeah. Oh well, I think that. Well, that's another issue for another episode.
Yeah,
But
see, I don't want to go off on a tangent for that, but yeah, you know what I mean.
right. Oh yeah. So the last words on the FBI thing. We'd like people to promote the FBI thing, to write to them, to use the links in the meme that they'll see in the low bar of this video, and also in the various groups around the Gamergate sphere, because I will be spamming it like a biatch.
Okay, well,
Um,
just to reiterate as well, since we probably lost all of you about our rants that have nothing to do with gaming.
mm.
Yes, remember, I mean, there's some paranoia, there's been some skepticism. I really should have talked about the responses I've gotten from SJWs on this, but there's been a lot of, I've seen some paranoia and some suspicion of the campaign. The
Mm.
thing to remember is we have nothing to lose. We're asking an impartial third party
Yeah.
from the government to look into the claims.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They're real. We get rid of, they're taken out of the equation. Those people are
Yeah.
caught and thrown in jail.
And
If
we've
there,
got a nice
if
clean
there are
debate
people,
again.
if
Exactly.
there are people within our movement who are doing this, we remove them, get them out of the way. They're no longer a problem. We've cleaned our house.
Mm.
If the other side's faking it, then there's some serious issues.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The whole house of cards falls apart and goes down in flames. We've got nothing to lose.
And
And
it
it is
puts the
we're
ball in
one
their
house.
court for them to clean their house as well.
Yes, and it puts us in the right. It really does give us
Yeah.
the
The higher ground,
yeah, the higher
honestly.
ground.
Well,
So
you've won me over. You know, I was already very keen, but like I like the idea. Yeah, it has legs. Yeah.
but I would really like to come on and talk to you and Sargon more focused on gaming next time, and we can
Absolutely.
go that route.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, I will think of a good topic for that. Yeah. I
Excellent.
mean, I expect something will happen during the day, and it'll be like,
Yeah.
whoa, check this out. Look what that
Well,
crazy man's done now.
well, the things that you can think about in the near future, next time you bring me on, here's the things
Yeah.
I can bring. One, I can bring a very good conversation about the subject of content and why everything needs to be permitted, and why there's actual value beyond just pleasure in doing that. There's a real artistic reason for it.
Hmm.
Second, I have had quite a past with the left. I've worked in nonprofit organizations. Like I said, I was raised in a very kind of hippie household.
Hmm.
I went to a school that was incredibly social Marxist. Uh,
Magnificent. And you've
and
turned out so well.
yeah, well, that's because regardless of what my parents realized, they did raise me with one thing. They raised me with that question everything, and I
Yeah.
did. And I
Hmm.
fucking did. So, in that regard, I can bring a lot of insight to what's going on the inside of the social justice mind because I've worked in those organizations and I've seen how utterly corrupt they are and how they have absolutely no sense of
Uh,
morals or ethics. Everything is permitted if they feel it's for their cause of right.
yeah. By any means necessary.
Right. Correct.
Yeah.
So those are the two things that I can really bring to this. And then I can also bring an outside perspective of how this is affecting other mediums, because it is big time, and everyone's watching.
Well,
You
I
guys
tell
have
you,
no
both,
idea how much everyone's watching.
yeah, both myself and Sargon would love to have a good old chinwag about the left. We really would. Oh yes, he would love that. I know he would. He's got a lot to say on it that I think he feels he can't say on some people's podcasts when they're gamergatey because
Well,
they
that's
won't
under
entertain it.
well, that's understandable. I mean, at the end of the day, this is not a left-right issue. This is a right and wrong issue.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
But
I mean,
unfortunately, the the other side are very, very left.
yeah, they are now. Yeah, they've replaced the Christians. It's no longer the Christians wanting to ban heavy metal music
Yeah,
and evil video games. Now it's Hillary Clinton and
yeah.
yeah.
It's social justice has become the new Christianity. You are right. You've hit the
And
nail on the head.
it is. And you know what the weird thing is that far social conservatives, far right social conservatives,
Yeah.
are beginning to agree with the SJWs on some of this stuff.
Uh,
There's kind of loose alliances forming.
uh,
Some of these, mothers against this, mothers against that,
yeah, you're
um,
right.
are agreeing, saying yes, we need to do these things, including the campus rape laws, because they want to encourage a no-sex environment.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
they
the
do.
same shit, different title, you know. It's the same points of view. It's the same puritanical garbage with different trappings.
Different trappings.
Yeah.
Well, on that worrying note, I think I'd best draw this
Okay.
podcast to a close and go off and
Hey,
wish my
well,
delightful son a good night.
it was
And
good meeting you. You're a cool
it,
guy.
oh, Kat, Josh, it's been great meeting you. This has gone far better than I expected. You know, this has really been truly fascinating. I feel enlightened. It's
This has been
wonderful.
absolutely wonderful. Thank
And I
you.
wasn't kidding when I said you were the good moderator on the Badgers.
Well,
You're the most effective one, and the
yeah,
one I agree with.
yeah. I think the others just liked arguing, and I just liked having a joke and posting stuff. But it's
Ah,
been brilliant, guys.
okay.
We shall do this again. We shall do this again. I'd love to have you both back on, hopefully with myself and Sargon at some point, and we do the left.
I'd
That'd
love
be
to.
great.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
excellent. Yeah, our schedule is pretty much open for the rest of the year. So,
Hmm.
just yeah, either contact Josh or I, and that would be great.
Absolutely. Well, whoever appears online, when I have an idea, maybe sometime in the week. Um, yeah,
Now
excellent.
everyone go contact the FBI.
Yeah, everybody contact the FBI.
And don't
It's a
catch the real
good
killers.
campaign. Yeah.
Okay, take care.
Goodbye. Take care of yourselves. It'd be wonderful. Okay, bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye.